This is a photograph that I took some time ago, and it's the wallpaper that I use on my phone. You probably ain't got a clue what it is. I'll show you what it is in a short while, but first let's get on with the video. Ever since we had those huge CRT monitors on our desks many moons ago, and a pen holder and a soft mouse mat as well, we also had a screensaver on our newfangled dandle computer system. And if any of you guys remember the excitement of opening your new computer, turning it on for the first time, the latest operating system, and excited to see what wallpapers you've got inside, and it pretty hasn't much changed even today. Bleeding Windows! You get a new phone or whatever, you go through straight away, see what wallpapers you could put on your phone. And probably the most memorable wallpaper would be the Windows XP system back in what, late 90s I think that was. The story goes, in around 1996, a guy called Charles O'Rear, photographer for National Geographic, he was on his way to see his girlfriend, and then he had in his car a Mamiya RZ67, which was loaded with a roll of Fuji Velvia. And on his way through, he saw this beautiful sort of scenery, these green hills and blue sky with nice fluffy clouds. He got out of his car, took a photograph, carried on to see his girlfriend, and he put that photograph into a photography agency, at the time a little bit like iStock I suppose of today, and Windows saw it and they purchased the photograph for what I believe is an absolute massive sum. Some say it's hundreds of thousands, others even say it was in the millions. I can't quite see that, but it was a lot of money, probably life-changing for Charles. I've tried my own one as well. Not sure if Windows will pay me a fortune for this though. And as a photographer, I still find the screensavers, even on this phone, which is a few years old now, quite inspiring. I think most of these are probably more on the lines of digital art rather than photography. But even so, when you look at these wallpapers, you look and you think they're actually quite nice and quite relaxing to look at. And I think that's the idea, is for them to be nice and sort of, you know, smooth and give you a nice feel in the day about your mood maybe. But we can create exactly the same things, which comes down to abstract photography. I'm not actually quite sure what abstract photography is. But what I do know is it's nice to take photographs of an object or a subject or a scene and somehow try and disguise it in your photograph, so people will look at it and go, what's that? A little bit like a photograph that I took. That's actually an aeroplane wing, where I was on a plane and looking out the window, and I took the photograph on my phone. When I've said to people, what do you think that is? They think it's hills. You've got the moon in the background as well. And I suppose that is kind of maybe abstract photography, and it certainly does suit my wallpaper on my phone. Well, I like it anyway, because I took it. So for me personally, I think that abstract photography is something where you're taking the use of the texture, the light, maybe the colour if you're shooting colour photography, and trying to sort of disguise it in some sort of harmony that people look and think, what on earth's that? And it could be something as simple as a pen, or a leg of a chair, or something very simple, but you've turned it into some sort of photography art. But I've got here a load of objects that I took from indoors to try and do some abstract art photography. I'm shooting black and white film. I'm going to be shooting FP4 in my Nikon F3, and it's real simple to do. I'm using my light box here that I use for scanning my negatives. It gives me the most surreal light as the light's coming up. It's showing a bit of the texture of the subject. It's also creating some nice light wrapping around the subject, and it's down to me to move the camera and try and compose the subject in a way that I think will look interesting, maybe as wallpaper on the phone, or certainly as a print framed and put on a wall somewhere. And it's also a point where people look at the photograph interestingly and think, I wonder what that is. But it could be something as simple, you know, as a colander, what I've got here. These make great abstracty sort of photography. So I've got a few bits and bobs around here, including this old Simpsons guitar as well, with one broken string, and it's probably out of tune. Which doesn't matter because I can't bleed and play it anyway. Now before I continue, in my penultimate video, which was the Phoenix 200, I asked you guys a question. Just let me know in the comments the name of the first location I went to where the beach huts were. So I've gone through the comments, I've randomly picked 2 people, and those winners are epoxy windows. So congratulations to you two. If you want to send me an email or a direct message on Instagram, let me know your address. I'll get those filmed sent over to you. So this isn't macro photography, let's get that straight. I'm not going into macro photography. I'm just getting close up on subjects and trying to define their textures and their light and their shape and trying to work around it to make something interesting. I might have parts of it coming from the top right, top left or wherever, just trying to get a good composition out of it. If you want to get closer, this is a 55mm micro lens from Nikon. Fantastic lens. I can get close with it. If I want to get close, I can put a 2x teleconverter on and then get really close, but I don't need to get that close. I don't want to get into the world of macro photography. So I've got some subjects here that I'm going to take some photographs of, and we'll set up a couple of scenes. I'll take the photographs and I'll show you guys what they look like. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you do this sort of photography all the time? I'm just trying to make this real simple, real easy, something to do indoors. And if you haven't got a light box, you can use a tablet or an iPad or whatever and just put it to a white screen and you can use that. Cutlery can look quite good as well. I've got these two forks here. I mean, you see these sort of shots everywhere, but it's fun to try out yourself. Just make sure that your forks are, you know, shiny. If they've got scratches on and stuff, but it's down to you. But these are pretty new. It's important to try and control the light as well, but try and get these in any sort of different position or angles that you want. Take a few photographs. You know, always fun to try out yourself. You never know, they might look better than the ones that you see in restaurants and what have you. I'm looking forward to trying the colander out. Look, all these holes, you can see it already in black and white. I don't want it to look like, you know, black with white dots. That would look a bit weird, so I'd possibly need to throw some sort of light in there to give it a little bit of tone, a little bit of shade. Otherwise you're just going to get a black colander with white dots. It'll look a bit odd, I think, like that. You see what I'm saying? But if we can get some sort of, I'll show you what I mean, using the little light, maybe some sort of shade going on inside, that might look quite nice. So this time I've put a tablet at the back there, and that's going to give us a reflection. So I'm going to play with these glasses. You can see I've got reflection going on. If I close these glasses like so, it might give us a point down towards the bottom of the frame. And we've got that reflection going on there. Just another little thing to try out. Try out the old Simpsons guitar, which I need to tune. So running out of ideas, I then went off for some reflective abstract photography, like here using the back of a large serving spoon against a radiator, and I'm using digital photography just for testing different ideas. And just because I took the photograph in landscape, I can do whatever I like with the print, whatever looks best. Putting the subject on glass with a black background and using the panel on its side gave way for nice two-tone reflective photography. And just finding stuff in the garage to use, like this coil of wire. It's just finding whatever around your home that may lend itself to an abstract-y looking photograph. I also like the Rubik Cube too. I can imagine a colour photo of this may brighten up a play area as well, but I love black and white. To me, it leaves more to the imagination when you're just curious about the light, shape and tones of the photograph. I may even revisit the Rubik Cube setup for medium format film, getting a darkroom, making a nice large print and frame it. I think this actually looks really nice. So I enjoy that sort of photography. I think photography is wonderful. There's so much you can do, there's so much you can photograph, so much you can take on and enjoy yourself as well at the same time. And I think that's important, to enjoy yourself moreover than looking at the photographs and thinking these aren't any good, I don't like what I'm doing. I think the most important thing is to enjoy what you're doing, enjoy your own photographs. Everyone's got a limit, and God only knows that my abstract photography is nowhere near as good as some as others out there. But it's a starting point, you know, you just keep doing these things, and if you enjoy it like I do and you enjoy the results, that's all that matters. So some of those abstract photographs, if you can call them abstract, I quite enjoyed, especially the Rubik's Cube, which I'm going to, I've loaded the Mamiya RZ67 with a roll of Street Pan 400, and I'm going to replicate that Rubik's Cube shot and then get in the darkroom and hopefully, if the photographs come out okay, make a nice print, maybe a large one, maybe a 20 by 16 or something for indoors, because I liked it that much. Out of all those, I thought the Rubik's Cube looked really nice. Maybe it's nostalgic from when I was younger, playing with myself, you know, with the Rubik's Cube. And if you do get a corker of an abstract photograph or something that you think is going to look fantastic for a wallpaper for your phone or your tablet or your computer or whatever, there you go, you've got a choice there that you can use something different other than the normal standard stuff that comes in with your phone. And that's pretty much what inspired this video. I was in my car, it was lashing down with rain, I was waiting for my wife to come out of a shop, and I looked at the windscreen, and where the windscreen had been cleaned recently, the raindrops were perfect, and I got my phone and took a photograph. I thought that would be an amazing wallpaper or a picture, and that inspired me to do a little bit indoors with abstract sort of photography. And I can imagine if any of you guys live in a big city where there's nice big buildings, you can get some fantastic abstracty looking photographs. I don't live in a place like that, so I'm doing the best I can around my home and picking up objects, which is also fun at the same time as well. I've got to say a massive thank you to all you guys that regularly watch my channel, all the nice comments that I get in the comments section, I really do appreciate it, and all the guys that like the videos, and also Patrons and YouTube members and buy me a coffee people as well that support the channel, enjoy what I do and also learn from it as well. Don't forget, I learn at the same time when I'm reading the comments. So thanks very much for watching my channel and keeping it going. I'll catch you next time.